To all the non-believers, 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 non-believers. I'm making.
What's up, y'all? This is Jay Vossi, and welcome to episode 68 of NBA Talk. And we're just gonna give you an informant of the free agency updates and what's going on this off season. We got the draft. We got the draft going on tomorrow. Um, some more updates on the outcome of the Anthony Davis trade. It turns out the Lakers are only gonna have $23 million in cash space after this is all said and done, because the deal, they're trying to push the deal to go on to not be finished until July 6th. But it looks like the Pelicans are going to do everything in their power to make sure the Lakers don't get that cap. So got the chances of them even trying to get a superstar are very, very minimal, which at the end of the day, I said they should use that cap more. I said in the last video that they should use that cap to get solid role players and shooters just around LeBron and AD with. I felt like that would be a smarter decision, and it wouldn't drain your cap trying to form a big three, because the whole big three thing is just, you don't need to have a big three to be a contender. Just get you some depth and just some solid role players and defenders, because you saw what the Toronto Raptors did. Even though, yes, the Golden State Warriors were injured, but still, depth does matter. Depth does matter to win a championship. It really does matter. Um, on the other news, I don't know who. This segment for me is who's telling the truth and who's telling a lie, because supposedly there's turmoil between Chris Paul and James Harden, that they're not getting along, and then there was another source that reported that Chris Paul demanded a trade, but then even Chris Paul wrote on a comment on Instagram saying, "Wow, that's news to me." So that already is exposed to be a lie, and we don't know what's going on. Are they not getting along? Is the news fake? Is it real? All I know is that they need to try to get their act together, because with the Western Conference as open as it is next season, the Houston Rockets got jumped to the opportunity. They can't be having this turmoil at this point. They really can't. Not with the Golden State Warriors just hobbled like this. You got to take advantage of a wounded animal. Um, Kemba Walker, he's starting to hesitate, and he might just lean towards going to the Dallas Mavericks. And to tell you the truth, I think that would be the best decision for him, because I just don't see a future with the Charlotte Hornets. I really just don't see it. I really don't see a future, because time and time and time again that they've tried to build a team around Kemba Walker, it's just the people who are not the right fit. I think it's a desperation move when you try to get Dwight Howard when you get Dwight Howard to try to save the Charlotte Hornets with Kemba Walker. Like, I think that's a desperation move. Um, the Golden State Warriors are looking to try to trade for Dion Waiters. As a Heat fan, I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't mind letting go of Dion Waiters, because to me he's just a waste of space. To me, he's just a waste of space. And yes, he could get you buckets now and then, but like, dude, he getting way too much money just to sit on the bench. Like, he been banged up, he been in and out, he's been streaky. It's like, come on, bro. That's not what we need right now. We need people who are gonna play. The Rockets also, going back to the Rockets on this. The Rockets are also trying to look to get a third star to join Houston, and they're looking at Jimmy Butler. What are the odds for me that Houston would try and land Jimmy Butler? I give them a 5% chance at landing Jimmy Butler, because I think their cap is just a little too sensitive at the moment to try to get Jimmy Butler. Even though Clint Capella's been on the trade block, and it's been rumored that the Nets and the Celtics are basically having a bidding war, trying to get Clint Capella. And it was even rumored at one point that the Rockets were trying to get in on Anthony Davis sweepstakes, but they knew they didn't have a chance. But on Clint Capella basically being bidded between the Nets and the Celtics, and the Celtics, I think the Celtics are just at a breaking point right now because you got the fact that Kyrie's leaving now. You you thought you were good with Al Horford, and now he's no longer discussing a new deal with the Celtics. He thinks he could get a 4-year, $100 million deal with another team. So Al Horford is gone. So that what's going on with the Celtics? Is it not as great playing for the Celtics as other players make it out to be? And I just don't. I'm just really surprised that Al Horford's feeling this way because I thought Al Horford was the heart and soul of the team when it came to the Celtics. Every time I see the Celtics, I see Al Horford doing something that is just like almost out of his nature. I'm like, whoa, but yeah, this is unbelievable. And with free agency coming up, this is not good whatsoever. If you're a Celtics fan, this is not good whatsoever. Um, Harrison Barnes is going to enter free agency. Tobias Harris wants to play for a contender, which I'm not gonna lie to you, you were pretty much playing on a contender, but you just lost on a buzzer beater that took 4 bounces to go in. So if that would have never gone in, who knows? You probably would have been in the NBA Finals, and you probably would have a ring right now. So if my best option would be for Tobias Harris, take a pay cut and just stay in Philly so they could keep Jimmy Butler and then you guys could stay together, run it back again because you only played half a season together. Run that core group back because, honest to God, that was like one of the best starting fives in the season and you only played half a season together. So yeah, if I were Tobias Harris, if you want to play for a contender, take a pay cut and go back to Philly and make sure they re-sign Jimmy Butler because that I don't know. I could see, maybe he could try joining the Bucks. Or maybe he could try joining the Bucks. I don't think it would. I don't know if it would be the same, but I think he would. I think he would be an upgrade for the Bucks, but I don't know how he would fit because they play a very specific style and they play fast pace. I don't know how Tobias Harris would be able to adjust to that, and yeah, it's just an overall play style. And I don't know if he'll join a team like Houston. Uh, Tobias Harris in Houston would actually be a pretty good fit for me because he likes to go for the pull up threes. That's what Mike D'Antoni likes and all that. If they want to try to get a third star, they could try to go after Tobias Harris. I don't know about them getting Jimmy Butler because they need size at the end of the day. Because Houston's playing a lot of that small ball stuff, and I don't know how long that they think that's gonna work. Um, it's looking more and more like Kawhi's gonna stay in Toronto because there was a video of Kawhi Leonard enrolling his daughter into a private school in Toronto. And normally, if you're thinking about leaving a team, I don't think you would enroll your kids into a school if you're thinking about leaving that team. So I think Kawhi Leonard just might stay in Toronto, which to me would be the smartest decision. You're playing for an entire country that loves you right now, and they're gonna treat you like a god when your career is over because you brought their first championship. It's looking more and more like he's gonna stay in Toronto. Kyrie Irving it was reported that supposedly he moved all his stuff out of his home in Boston and he's moving all his things to a house in New York. So it's starting to look like him to the Nets is looking more and more legit as the days go on. It, I'm not surprised Kyrie's doing all this because he it didn't look like he wanted to be in Boston because there was too much turmoil from the beginning with Boston, and there was just a lot of pressure on him to try to fix everything. On the draft update, the New Orleans Pelicans are trying to trade with the Memphis Grizzlies to try to get the second pick. Do I think they'll land the second pick? I give them about a 1% chance of getting that pick. I give them about a 1% chance of getting that pick because Memphis wants to hold on to that pick for dear life. They really do. They really don't want to let go of that pick so easily. Um, wow. Let's see what other news. You got Ricky Rubio being a target, which a lot of people are really not looking at Ricky Rubio, and I'm very very surprised. And I'm very surprised that they're not looking at Ricky Rubio for teams who need a point guard, uh, especially the Phoenix Suns who are desperate for a point guard, they're not the ones talking to Ricky Rubio. Excuse me. Um, D'Angelo Russell apparently doesn't want to play for Phoenix, which I'm not surprised because look at the year he just had, and then you're gonna go from the Brooklyn Nets to an even worse team. So I'm I'm really not surprised that he doesn't want to play for the Phoenix Suns. Um, we have no other updates on Kevin Durant. So if you were looking for a Kevin Durant update, I'm not sure what to tell you other than he was recently talking to Kyrie this past weekend when the Anthony Davis deal happened about teaming up in New York. So if you were looking for that, that's the most I can give you. Um, but yeah, a lot of teams are gonna try to make some really crazy moves to try to form some ridiculous teams next season, and it's gonna be nuts because with the Golden State Warriors banged up, the Lakers getting Anthony Davis, the Lakers could look to get some solid pieces. Um, the Indiana Pacers are trying to make moves. I think they're the front runners to try to get D'Angelo Russell. Um, it's just, and if the Pelicans were able to land that trade and get the second pick, do you know how insane that would be? You know damn well they're going to draft R.J. Barrett with that second pick because they're going to have Zion. I believe they would offer that fourth pick, and they would draft R.J. Barrett, and I think the Knicks I think the Knicks would be dumb as hell if they draft John Morant. I really think they would be dumb as hell if they draft John Morant. I'm sorry, you you cannot get another point guard. You have too many guards on your team already. You need to find another forward. You need to get a shooting guard. Like you have too many point guards already. Because a player like John Morant is not what the Knicks need right now. Oh my god. So yeah. Sorry, that was my phone and hold on. Whew. All right. But yeah, back to what I was saying that if the New Orleans Pelicans take that second pick and they manage to draft RJ and Zion Williamson, I think the Pelicans within the next 2 years would have the best young core in the league. But back to my last thought on the New York Knicks, they don't need. They're trying to look too much for a box office attraction, and if you can't get R.J. Barrett or Zion Williamson, they will draft John Morant, and I think that would be very very dumb on their part. You can't jump straight to a box office attraction because John Morant as fun as it is watching his athleticism and some of his shooting, he's very reckless with the ball. To me, he's very, very reckless. Like, he needs to work more. He needs to work more on his passing and his playmaking, because he's looking too much to try to score first, and he looks like he wants to be very ball dominant. I don't know. Just like, I need to see how he transitions into the NBA. I just have to see it, because I just don't know how I just don't know how his game will transition easily into the league, because he tries to play like Russell Westbrook, but then he tries to shoot too much. But the Knicks just need to develop their young talent at this point, because it's starting to look very, very bad if you're the New York Knicks. Kevin Durant goes down with an Achilles injury. Kyrie Irving looks like he has no interest in signing with the Knicks. Like, a lot of players don't look like they want to sign with the Knicks, and the Knicks, they said if they can't land a top free agent, then they're not gonna overpay a second tier free agent. They're just gonna have to develop their young core and build through the draft, because it looks like it's gonna be many, many more years of being one of the worst teams in the league. At this point, that's what it looks like, because I just don't see where the Knicks think they have hope here, and that's why I think there's a lot of pressure on them to try to land Kevin Durant, so that even though he's not gonna play this coming season, he's gonna play the following season, and you would have a little bit of hope. You would have just a little bit of hope, but who knows if Kevin Durant is gonna be the same within that time. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you for free agency and for the draft. If I'm missing anything, please write it down in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe if you like basketball content. This is your boy Jay Varsity, and I am out. Peace.
We got some non-believers out there.
Make believers out of non-believers. Make believers out the overseers.